Like in just this. What is this tool? This is like...
Oh, yeah. That's a chip clip.
Yeah.
Gotta have
chip
one of
clip.
those.
This is how Tina Turner used to do her hair. This thing. So this just pulls it out flat, smooth.
So you can hold it all in one spot, right? Yeah.
Hi, my name's Chris Josen. I'm a resident of Bartlett, New Hampshire, and I love to fish, and I love living in New England. For me, I think the New England is pretty classic in the sense that, you know, within 2 or 3 hours, you can be in so many different varieties of species. So within, you know, a couple hours, 3 hours drive, you might be into pike, muskie, bass, trout of all sizes, salmon, and then you're in the saltwater, and then you're looking at bluefish and striper and a whole bunch of other things. So depending on how the seasons change, you know, there's so many different options. You know, it really is pretty crazy how different it is, because we're, give or take, an hour and a half from my house, and in my backyard there's a little stream that runs, and there's brook trout that are in that little tiny stream that are literally, you know, 6 inches long, and then come down here, and I feel like it's such a foreign place compared to where I came from last night, and I think that's pretty neat. And then you're dealing with, you know, a fairly aggressive migratory saltwater fish that, you know, that may have come up from the mid-Atlantics or down in the south. So it's pretty crazy to be dealing with a 6-inch brook trout that is in one little brook, and it hasn't really traveled very far, and then the next morning you're dealing with large saltwater migratory fish that, you know, may have you know, swam 1,500 miles in the last handful of months. It's interesting at this time of the year, you kind of anticipate it being pretty darn cold. Like this morning when we were, you know, packing up the car, it was cold, and we thought, you know, all right, we got some wool tops, we got some wool hats, and do we have fingerless gloves and all this kind of stuff, anticipating it being cold. And we get down here, it wasn't so bad. I think the ocean kind of keeps things a little warmer than the interior part of the state. But I think it starts to, you know, you start to get into that time of the year where the stripers are starting to head back south to get into warmer water. And it seems to me that it's a pretty challenging time of the year. Is they're still here, so you know they're here, but are they here as much as they were 3 or 4 weeks ago? So it comes down to timing it right and trying to get those last stripers before most of them head south to get into warmer water. I think the migration coming up to New England, you kind of wait, are the stripers here yet, are they not? And as they come up, they kind of start entering the rivers. They come up into these estuaries, they're in the rocks, they're on the beaches, and, you know, for me, there's been no species and fishery that's been as challenging to figure out, you know, with the tides and just the right timing and the moons and all these different things. And for me, it's really a challenging fishery to nail down. And you can be in one spot and, you know, you can kill it one day and do really well, and then the next day you come back all psyched to do it all over again, and you get nothing. And you might spend a bunch of hours walking around, and at the end of the day you say, is this all worth it? And you say no, and then by the time your head hits the pillow, you're already thinking about coming back tomorrow. And for me, that's what like fishing stripers or fishing other species is for me. There's been so many days where I learned so much about the fish when I don't catch anything, and then I'm driven to come back again and see if I can figure it out.